चिन्तयामि हरिमेव सन्ततम् मन्दमन्दहसिताननाम्बुजम् नन्दगोपतनयं परात्परम् नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम्। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That one shloka, the 18th of the 4th chapter, engaged us for several classes, rightly so, for the significance of seeing action in inaction, and inaction in action is simply immense. And it goes to the very core of Vedanta teachings, to appreciate our true nature as not being a doer at all. Thus we looked at very profound comments by Adi Shankara also, in continuation of that trend of thinking initiated in the 18th verse. And in the last class, we took a look at a beautiful shloka, that is 22nd, where once more Sri Krishna says, Krutva api na nibadhyate. This is exactly what you and I need. We are doing things. We are winning at places. We are losing at other places. We are successful sometimes and we fail at other times. Success delights us. Winning makes us happy. But when we fail, when we lose, when we perceive somebody to be dominating over us, we perceive somebody to be twisting our arm, as the expressions go, we feel frustrated. Krutva apina nibadhyate means even as you do things which invariably leads to winning or losing, you cannot be bound. There is no need to be frustrated. There is no need to go into low spirits. As we have always said, Bhagavad Geetā is the very essence of Upanishads. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, for example, in the second Valli, Brahmananda Valli, towards the end, there is a very thought-provoking statement which says, not by physically reaching anywhere, not by materially become anything, not even by getting so-called good health, because it is a matter of the body, but by right seeing alone. Samyak darshana alone, not assisted by anything. One can be free of punya and papa. There is this beautiful portion towards the end in the 9th Anuvaka of Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Valli, that is Krishna Yajurveda. Etam havava na tapati. That doesn't bother him, it says. What? Kimaham sadhuna karavam. Oh, did I not do some good thing that had to be done? You know, such thoughts do not disturb him or her. Kimaham papam akaravamiti. Oh, did I do something terribly wrong? Oh my God. Did something sinful happen at my hands? This thought also, natapati. Etagam havavana tapati. Kimahagam sadhuna karavam. Kimaham papam akaravamiti. How? How on the earth can anybody be spared from thoughts of having done something wrong or having failed to do something right? How is it possible? Because every day many things go wrong and few things go right too. On a lower plane, you and I know a shloka. Aparada sahasram kriyate maya aharnisham. In puja, they stand this shloka. Oh Lord, thousands of mistakes are done by me every day. You are compassionate. Kindly forgive me for that. So you see, at one extreme in the Karma Kanda, we acknowledge that wrongs take place at our hands and we sincerely repent for it. On the other extreme, on the Vedanta, Samyak Darshana level, there is this mantra, the thoughts that something wrong happened at my hands, something right which should have happened did not happen, etc. Don't bother this illumined person. Let me tell you, if you ask the question, how? The enlightened one has woken up from the dream of egoistic existence. I tell you, this has tremendous significance, tremendous importance. Nowadays we see not only us, the older people, drowning in some worries and regrets, but young people who from a distance look sprightly, energetic, enthusiastic, etc., in their heart of hearts are suffering because they look around, they compare, they see some classmate of theirs has reached in their eyes some high level and it burns, it hurts them. Now, how sad. People so easily forget counting their blessings. In their life, there are so many positive things that thousands of people envy them, are jealous of them. Thousands of people think, oh, if I had these benefits, these plus points, my life would have been so nice. So this girl or boy, maybe in her 20s or 30s or early 40s, enjoys so many privileges, so many advantages, so many blessings, but the mind leaves them all and thinks of how she is only an assistant professor in a college and a former classmate of hers is already head of department in a prestigious university. That comparison leaves behind a sense of, I have failed and she has succeeded. Vedanta calls it nonsense. Vedanta calls, I'll not go very long on this because then it will be a diversion in the eyes of some of you. Ideas of defeat or victory, ideas of loss or gain, ideas of having done it or having failed to do it, etc., are just thrown into the trash can by Vedanta. Just as when you wake up from your dream, in your dream, let us say you had fallen into a dirty ditch, or in your dream, you sat on a throne and saw yourself a king of a huge country. Don't you rubbish both of them when you wake up? Now, you may say these analogies are all right, but how does it happen in real life? Vedanta can help you arrive at a certain stillness, certain mauna. In the 10th chapter, Sri Krishna is going to say, Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam. Of all the secrets, the greatest secret is inner silence. Not just outwardly putting our mouth shut, keeping our mouth shut. That is not silence. Inwardly, seeing the pure self. Seeing those who won also as the pure self, those who lost also as the pure self, seeing oneself also as the pure self. That's what the Taittiriya Upanishad says. Saya evam vidvanete atmanagam spranute. The enlightened one, by the mere strength of that right seeing, sees everything as the pure self. Sat Chit alone is. This idea of victory, the idea of defeat, are all a myth, are all the false concepts of an egocentric mind. It is Vedanta and pure spirituality alone that can free us from all kinds of frustrations, all kinds of depression, all kinds of, my life is coming to an end. What have I gained? Oh my life has gone a waste, etc. Nonsense. Vedanta says and helps you see, and not just saying, it helps you see that your life was never a waste, is not a waste, and will never be a waste. Life is all the time. It was, is, and will be. It's a celebration of Sat-Chit. It is a celebration of God. Sadashiva Brahmendra therefore sings, Khelati mama hridaye Ramaha, Khelati mama hridaye. In your so-called defeat, and of course in your so-called victory, Lord Rama alone shines, sports, is all the time the truth. This is brought out by one more verse now in 23. We will go to 23. Before that, the connecting paragraph by Sri Shankaracharya simply makes a comment. Tyaktva karma phala sangam iti anena shlokena yaha prarabdha karma san. Somebody who is enlightened, who has absolutely no attachment to this business we talked about, winning and losing and 100 things. I didn't have my own house. I have not got my children married. I did not get any grandchild. There was a humorous piece of news some 3 days back. Some parents of a married son have gone to court saying, you our dear son, you haven't given us grandchildren. We sue you. Either give us a grandchild or give us, I guess, 5 crores of rupees or so. Very funny. Parents are demanding to be given grandchildren. Otherwise, compensate for all that we invested in your education, and then we had a gala marriage of yours also. For what? If you didn't give us grandson, granddaughter, you better pay us back all that we gave you ever since you were born. What what a funny case. What a I guess the judge would just brush it aside, dismiss the case. If I were the judge, I would just dismiss the case. We have better things to do, and you sort this out. I would tell those parents who want either a grandchild or 5 crores of rupees to drop all that and come to Vedanta classes. You have educated your son or daughter, and first of all, there was no need to worry about their marriage, etc. You got them married in a grand way, okay? But now, forget. You mind your spiritual journey. Bless the son, bless the daughter, bless your younger generation in whatever they would like to do. Don't take too many things on yourself. So it is said, someone who has tyaktva karma phala asangam. Asanga is asakti. What does one do? Prarabdha karma means just going through the results of certain past actions which have already begun, like an arrow released already from the bow. Prarabdha karma. Nishkriya brahmatma darshana sampanna. From the eyes of others, this person is going through pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, etc. But from his own point of view, he is constantly seeing without fail, Nishkriya Brahma, which itself is Atma. Nishkriya Brahmatma Darshana San, Darshana Sampanna San, Saha Sampanna Syat. Tada Tasyatmana Kartra Karma Prayojana Abhava Darshina. To him, Abhava. There is no doership or this matter of enjoying or suffering the results of various karmas. It's from others' point of view that he is enjoying or suffering prarabdha. Then, karma parityage prapte kutaschin nimitta tadambhave sati tadasambhave sati. Why doesn't he just quit then? Shankara says, why are you bothered? For some reason, he is continuing to carry this body with no attachment, no identification whatsoever. Somehow, this in and out karma parityaga has become asambhava. Tad asambhave sati purvavat. Just like before his enlightenment, he was doing things. Adhuna api now also karmani abhipravrittaha. Karmani abhipravrittasya naiva kinchit karoti saha iti. In the 20th verse it was said, karma abhavaha pradarshitaha. And of that person, and of that very person, not somebody else, it is said now in 23rd, gatasangasya muktasya nanavastita chetasaha yajnaya आचरत कर्म समग्रम प्रविलीयते. Once more, karma praviliyate is dissolved. Samagram means in its entirety. What is meant is along with so-called karma phala. Karma and karma phala, all of them are dissolved. Why? This person is gatasaṅga, so well anchored in Atmanishta that there is not an iota of attachment to things, people, action, inaction, concepts, including the concept of renunciation and the concept of loka seva. The moment you get attached to the idea, I am doing loka seva, you got stuck. The true loka sevak does not carry an idea, I am serving. Gatasaṅgasya, therefore muktasya. Beautiful expressions of the Bhagavad Geetā. Jnana avastita chetasaha. One whose chetaha, the mind, is stationed, avastita, in the purest jnana, not scholarship. Scholarship is a stepping stone. Those scholars who have so much knowledge but are not living Vedanta, in a sense have to be pitied or sympathized with, but in another sense, don't disrespect them. They have it all. And when God's grace descends on them, they will begin to see, oh my, we have been talking about this for so many years. Oh, that is the truth. When they see the truth, when they see that their life is never away from the truth that they were talking in their discourses, they just get freed. So the scholar is that way to be respected also. You sympathize with his inability to live the teachings, but you admire his knowing it all so well. Therefore, the Subhashita says, Vidvatvam cha nrupatvam cha naiva tulye kadachana. Don't compare a king with a scholar. Swadeshe pujyate raja, vidwan sarvatra pujyate. In his own country, a king is highly respected, not outside. And a scholar, sarvatra, wherever he goes, will be respected. So vidvatva is to be respected. But if some vidwan, some vidushi, a lady of lot of knowledge, who gives wonderful discourses, whose books are very impressive, you find she has ahankara, sympathize with her. One day she will wake up to which truth? The very truth that she has been talking of, that she wrote books on. That's the interesting part. So, jnana avastita chetasaha yajnaya acarata karma. For the sake of yajna. In the 3rd chapter, in the 10th verse, the word yajna meant Lord Vishnu. Yajno vai Vishnu. But here, yajna means jnana yajna. How? Because the very next shloka talks about the highest yajna, the highest sacrifice, Vedic sacrifice, whatever you call it. The highest yajna, which is no other than jnana yajna, samyak darshana yajna. when your eyes open to the undivided truth, not divided between good and bad people, success and failure, between this person and that person, this place and that place, not divided in individuals, not divided in place or space, not divided in time, not divided into any categories. When categories vanish, you see the Advaita Tattva shining through the categories which a while ago appeared real. Therefore, I spoke a little at the beginning of this lecture on defeat and victory. Defeat is no more defeat if you have spiritual angle of view. And victory also is no more a victory. This defeat and this victory, this success and failure, this being accomplished and being mediocre, etc., are a perception on a lower plane. On the higher plane, one just sees the pure self only. Atmanagam spranute, says the Brahmananda Valli. Yajnaya, Jnana Yajnaya, Samyak Darshana Yajnaya, Acharataha karma. For him who performs karma as an offering in the fire of the highest wisdom. Karma samagram praviliyate. Entirely. Karma, karma phala, karta, karana, karya. There are so many components of karma. All of them go. Shankara gives a brief commentary, for this is more a restatement of what was said before. Gatasangasya sarvataha nivritta asaktehe. When there is no self, the ego, where is the asakti? Where is the attachment? You are no more, the desire to be somebody. And you see a throne which is empty, no king there. Would you be interested in becoming the king? You say, thank you. You walk away. The king's chair, the throne, doesn't interest you because in you, the psychological movement of wanting to become somebody has died. Not in a negative sense. It has died, making room for seeing, I am already the king of kings. I am already on top of the world. How? Thanks to Atma Darshana. Therefore, illumined people are above all kings. Why should they be interested in the throne? Therefore, Sarvataha Nivritta Asaktehe Muktasya. Mukta literally means liberated. Bhagavan Shankara says, Dharma, Adharma Adi Bandhanasya. Dana Avas Dharma Dharma Adi Bandhanasya. Oh, I left the word Nivritta. Nivritta Dharma Adi Bandhanasya. That is the explanation he gives for Muktasya. Who is Mukta? She is Mukta, from whom this Dharma and Adharma have departed. Nivritta. Nivritti is retiring, right? Somebody retires when he touches 60 or 58 somewhere, 65 somewhere, whatever it is. Officers of the armed forces retire, I think, 52 or 54. No matter what time you retire, Nivritta. So you don't go anymore to that office where you went for decades, for example. But here, you no more go to the office of doership, the office of I am doing this, I will win here, I may lose there. Oh, and all those ups and downs. Nivratta dharma adharma adi bandhanasya. What is jnanavastita chetasaha? Next word. Jnane eva avastitam chetah yasya soyam. Jnanavastita chetaha tasya. We explained this already. One whose chetaha, mind, is anchored in the purest jnana. Yajnaya. Shankara doesn't explain the word yajna here, but those commentators on Shankara's Bhāshya who have a great sense of context have said that yajna here does not mean Narayana as it did in the third chapter. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha, it was said. All work which is done is a bondage unless it is done for yajna. Unless you do yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Other than the karma done for yajna, for Vishnu, for Narayana, lokoyam, this entire world is marked by bondage. There it was yajna was Vishnu, yajnarthat karmana. But here is samyak darshana yajna. When one is offering the instant as tiny thought of egoism arises, this illumined person just drops it into the fire of right seeing. I neither have won nor have I lost. I neither need to win nor do I need to, or nor do I need to fear losing. The pure self, Upanishads are uncompromisingly telling us, pure self doesn't rise or fall, doesn't expand or contract. That nothing happens to the pure self, and you are that pure self. Samagram saha agrena. So if you have a pencil and the pencil has a tip, it has a back end, it has a front end. So agra is tip, both the front tip and the back tip, let us say. This pencil in its entirety, which means along from one tip to the other. What is the theme? Karma. First you become a karta, that could be the back tip. Then karma takes place. Then karma phala ensues, that is the front tip. So along with agra tip. Phalena, Shankara especially highlights phala. Because you pull one leg of the table, the other three legs also come towards you. You can't say, I wanted only one leg of the table. But if you pull one leg of the table, the other three legs also will come towards you. If you do karma, karma phala also comes. But before you do karma, you need to be karta. So karta, karma, karma phala, punya, papa, various different lokas, all of them. Samagram karma praviliyate vinashyati tyartha. With this, we come to the very well-known shloka, and it is as though last so many verses are actually making way to, paving the way paving the way to this 24th shloka. So Shankara says, Kasmat punak karanat kriyamanam karma swakarya arambam akurvat samagram praviliyate uchyate. How does karma of an illumined person swakarya arambam akurvat? How can it get dissolved without initiating prarabdha karmas and agami karma and so on? Moment you do something, there should be a result. And for the illumined person also, a result should arise which should bind, which should entrap him, is the question. Uchyate is being said. That's the 24th verse. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahma eva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. The word Brahma appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Brahma appears 6 times here. So, Brahma is Arpanam. Here in this shloka, Arpana means the ladle or the long spoon made of wood or, some samagri or some dravya. The spoon called ladle with which ghee or some other suitable material is offered into the fire in a Vedic sacrifice. So Brahma is the spoon, Brahma is the havis. Havis is the word implying what is offered. Could be ghee. Brahma eva havi. The spoon is Brahman. The ghee, clarified butter, is Brahman. Brahma Agnav. That's a karmadharaya samasa. Brahma itself is Agni, Brahma Agni. In the fire of Brahma, it is offered. That means the fire also is Brahma. Who is offering? Brahmana Hutam. The personality sitting as Yajamana, being guided by a priest, Purohitaha, Adhvaryuhu. Some Vedic priest is saying, oh, no, put it into fire. Swaha, he puts. So the one who is offering, the priest also is Brahma, by the way. All right. By doing all this Vedic sacrifice, what is sought after? Where should one go? Brahma eva tena gantavyam. Gantavya is the destination. Let's say Swarga. That Swarga also is Brahma. And the last word is Brahma karma samadhina. The Yajamana has to do samadhi, has to completely fix his mind. His mind should be completely absorbed in the Brahma karma. But that is a little longer comfort. Brahma itself is the karma, and the Yajamana should be in such a state of mind that in that Vedic karma, which is no other than Brahma, this Yajamana's mind has to be absorbed. Therefore, when a yajna is done properly and the Yajamana's mind is elevated, Yajamana goes to higher levels of consciousness, then that Vedic sacrifice is no ordinary Vedic sacrifice. That Vedic sacrifice, even though outwardly there is a fire, something is offered, there's a spoon, there are other people watching, there's a priest, food is being prepared to be served as prasad a bit later. 100 things are happening. But as the Yajamana goes into elevated consciousness, he sees everything is Brahma only. Now, Sri Krishna has better things to do than talk about a Vedic sacrifice in the Bhagavad Geetā. What is his main immediate direct context? To help Arjuna do his job, do his work with no agitation. And in that context, for you and me too, to go through life, to do things, if you are not very mature, do it all as seva. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodakam mukti sadakam. Do it as a samarpana to Ishvara. Your ego is still up and active, but it is humble, it is submissive to God's will. But if you are a seasoned Vedanta student, do whatever you are doing for your wife and children, husband and children, grandchildren, for some organization, 100 things. Or if you are a sadhu in the Himalayas, you get up and twice a day maybe, or once a day, go to some place where food is offered. In the Himalayas, there are some places. The famous one is Kali Kamli Wala. Kali Kambal Wala. So there was, I believe, some sadhu, I don't know when, 100 years ago, maybe. He used to have a black kambal, a blanket around him. He himself was a great sadhu, but he then, for Loka Sangraha, put together enough funds so that a lot of sadhus did not have to worry about food. Twice a day, food is offered. They come collect the food and there itself, or they go to their cottage, eat, maybe take a short rest and then again Swadhyaya, Dhyana, etc. Let them mind intense, focused spirituality. Food should not be a botheration. Now in the Himalayas, some places give one meal at 11 o'clock, that's it. But there's another place in maybe another direction which gives one meal in the evening, 6 o'clock. So there are sadhus who go to place A for one meal, come back, and then in the evening place B if they need 2 square meals. Some older ones don't need all that. Anyway, a sadhu also, if you are a sadhu in the Himalayas, you need to do a few things for keeping the body alive. But in all these, the food you receive in Kali Kamliwala is Brahma, the vessel in which you take it, the legs by which you walk up and then you walk down, the one who eats, and finally everything, wherever everything leads, is all Brahma. A still mind, a quiet mind, not made quiet by will, but turned quiet by Upanishad wisdom. For what attracted you before does not attract you. What bothered you before does not bother you. That is the meaning of Atmanishta, Brahma Karma Samadhina. In this way, this 24th verse, the 24th verse of chapter 4 of Bhagavad Geetā is a lot of food for thought. How plurality vanishes into non-duality by right seeing. You don't have to do anything, but through study, contemplation, discussing with mature Vedanta students, being open to a different way of seeing life, you will arrive at this Atmanishta. Meanwhile, you may have health problems, financial problems, relationship problems. You will do what the best is possible. What best is possible? Do the best and leave the rest. But you already are free. You don't have to wait for some struggle, some conflict to come to an end. You don't have to wait for some court order. You don't have to wait for some file to be passed. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and apologize to you. You don't have to wait for people to recognize your worth. Let
Hari Om all. There is some technical snag at the end of the Swamiji's side. So today we'll conclude the class here itself. Hari Om.